Hello and welcome to part two of our series on creating a Hello Smart presentation and getting familiar with the Smart Learning Suite platform. So today we're getting into the meat of what we want to know, and that is how do we create a presentation? Okay, so we're going to start off by clicking on the green button, the Add Activities, and I'm going to first show you how we can do this just creating individually without any templates. We're just going to create a new page. So we're going to look at all this content here. Here we have import resources. I'll show you that in just a minute, right? Let's say that we have made a presentation. We now want to create it as a smart presentation. We can certainly do that very quickly. We can also import different things. We can import a YouTube video. We're going to create a new page here. Okay, we may also use some activity templates, but first, if I want to just get started doing this from scratch, I'm going to click on New Page. Okay. And now you may see that there are some options. At the top, we have our title page. So I'm going to rename this. We'll rename this presentation template. Let's just call it that. Okay. And I can put in my title and my description here. And these are all just any possible or just a generic page here. I can put in anything I'd like. I can edit this. I can change this to name of lesson, right? And description, I'm going to call this class first period, right? Whatever you might have, whatever you want to put your description as, right? We can include some text here, so we can go up to this button and click on the A, and that will give us any opportunity to put in as many text as we want. We also have the option to put in an image or multiple images. So I can go to select image. That will draw an image from my computer that I have already created on, downloaded from my computer. I don't have many videos or photos here, so I'm not going to include anything. I can include a web link, so possibly even adding a GIF. And I can also go to online images. So let's just pretend that we're going to create a lesson on fractions. So I'm going to type in the word fractions and look up what I can get. And I don't know, I like this picture. So I'm just going to add it, click it and drag it across, and check that out. It's now included in my presentation. Okay. In addition, I can also do a little feature here, which if I click on the arrow key, it allows me to duplicate. So maybe I want two pictures. Or I can, in addition, create what's called an infinite cloner, and this is an option you have on the the Smart Notebook, and this is something you can just continue to duplicate and duplicate and duplicate these charts. I don't know if you would want to, but you definitely can. If I want to delete this, I'm just going to click the delete button. I'm clicking the backspace button on my computer, and it will give me the option to delete these and get rid of them. Okay. All right. We have our lesson presentation, our slide, our presentation slide up, and we want to get started with I don't know. Let's start with an activity. So if I go down here at the bottom, I'm given this option, this blue button here. I can add in content. Maybe I want to start off with a video, right? I want to talk to or at least introduce the ideas of fractions. And I don't know, I'm going to start searching YouTube, and I like songs, so fraction songs. I enjoy doing these as part of our class because I think it's a great way for us to learn. And I haven't watched any of these, but let's just go with this one. Fraction Songs for Kids by Number Rock. I have heard of Number Rock before. And the great thing here is that we're able to play it right off of our presentation. So if you're presenting this to your students, we're going to see this. It's going to be on their screen, and we'll show you how to present in the next video, but it'll be on their screen as well as your screen. So we're all seeing the video simultaneously. Okay? So we'll start off with a video, and then I want to add some more content. I can create my own content, so I can create a shouted out activity. I'll show an example in a second. We can create a response, so either we can create a live poll, we can create a multiple choice, a short answer question, all different types, and I can preview it right here. And if you notice, actually Smart Learning Suite gives us some cool videos that will show us how we can insert these activities. I obviously won't go through the video, but they do give us the option there. We also have game-based activities. So maybe I want to play a game with my students. I know this is very much more so tailored towards the elementary or the middle school level, but this can also be used at the high school level. I myself am a high school teacher, and there's definitely some things that I could use. I could use word search. So maybe you want to implement some memorization or some definitions and terms. You can do some word searches with your students. We can do team quizzes, and that's a good example of what you probably see all the time, which is, on quizzes, Quizlets, Kahoot, all those great activity, those game platforms. We can do the same here on our smart notebook presentation. Okay, so different options here for us to use. We can use card flips, we can use fill in the blanks, we can do a game show, we can do matching activities. I'll show that in the next video. Different templates we can use. Okay. We also have ready-made resources. So things that are pre-made for us. We don't even have to worry about it. So there are some shouted out activities. So shouted out activities, let's start with that one. I'm going to click on that. And it's very common in our ELA team presentations. We usually will hear that KWL charts, right? Or want to know, learned, or questions. So this is definitely in your ballpark if you are an ELA teacher, and we can it's pre-made for us, and students are able to place their answers into this as either I know, I want to know, I've learned, and I have questions about. Okay. And so if our students were here, we would be able to see their slides or their answers placed in these charts. Okay, so this is very much like a whiteboard or a Jamboard activity where students can type in their answers and everyone's sharing a shared screen. Okay, so a great feature here for some class discussions, for some activities, for KWL chart, anything like that. Okay, in addition, we can do response activities, and that's for the students individually to respond to our questions. So this seems like a multiple choice question, a true-false statement in this case, students can do. And then the other option is we have down here what's called handout activities. Okay, I can create something for students to put on their own, right? Maybe they have to put in their own answer at the end of a lesson as part of my exit ticket. Okay, and these are all pre-made questions, assessments, so different types of activities that we can do. Okay, graphic organizers, and this is a great thing, especially in the ELA department for us to, or even social studies, any other type of subject where we're going to need to break down some definitions, some terms. There's a lot of great templates for us, okay, specifically with graphic organizers. Okay, let's say we don't want to use that. I just want to create my own stuff. And I'm going to just add a new page. So I'm going to go to add content. I'm going to add a new page here. Okay. And here I'm going to type in, we're talking about fractions, right? So I want you to write 5 equivalent fractions. Almost forgot how to spell equivalent. And we don't need a description here, so I'm going to delete that, right? 5 equivalent fractions. It's very basic, I know, but maybe let's put in a picture. So let's put again, fraction picture. Just because I want us to put in just a little extra here, right? We don't want it to just stay by itself. And hey, maybe this might be a good example here, right? This is a great example of equivalent fractions. We can give examples of either halves, quarters, or eighths. So we want to write 5 equivalent fractions. Now, the other thing that we can do here is if you notice down at the bottom, and I'll have to move some of my options here, I apologize for that. We're going to have to go to convert to activity. Right now, this is just a page. I want to create this as an assessment or an activity for a student. So I'm going to click on convert to activity. It'll give me 2 options. The first option is to create this as an individual handout activity. That means that the students are going to see this independently, and they're going to write their answers in independently. As the presentation is going on, I can see their answers in real time, but I'm going to see it as an individual slide. So Johnny's going to have his slide. Jen is going to have her slide. Alex is going to have her slide, right? So we're going to have different students having individual copies of this slide. Or we can make this a collaborative workspace activity. And what I think is one of the coolest parts about this platform is the collaborative workspace activity. I'm going to click on this, and actually I can preview it. So as a student, this is what I'm going to see. I have the option of moving things around. Okay, I also have the option of drawing. And I'm going to put in my answers. I'm going to start with this, right? I don't know, 5/10. That's an equivalent fraction. That's equivalent to 10/20. Okay, and maybe that's me drawing. And as you'll see, if we're doing this as a collaborative activity, each person will be able to see the students, their peers writing on the screen. Okay, so we can all create our classwork activity here. Okay, and again, a great thing about this is that I'm able to put students into teams. So we can create them into teams of 3, teams of 4, teams of 5. So if we're doing a workspace activity, we can either have everyone work on it together, or we can break them up into groups, into small groups. This is a great activity for us as a class. Maybe not for all 25 of my students, because only 5 students can maybe put in an equivalent fraction. However, if I break up my 25 students into groups of 5, then each student is doing an equivalent fraction. And now our small groups make it much more easy, much more feasible for everyone to be participating in the lesson. Okay, so another great example with Workspace. Okay. Okay, and then finally, if I want to do, let's say just a game-based activity, let's do that. It's going to give us different options. And maybe I want to put in, I want to rank these in order because we're going to do fractions, right? So I'm going to have the opportunity here to either add a text or an image. Maybe if it's an image, I can search online. I can do 1/2 and see if I'll get that as an image. I have 1 and 1/2. I'll take that and then click OK. So that's one option. I can order that. Or I can continue to add slides, or excuse me, images, or I can just put 2/3. Or I'm going to put 5/8. I'm going to put 9/10. And I'm going to put 6/7. Right? And so the students need to rank these in the correct order. Okay, so let's say that I'm ranking these, and I believe this is the correct way that I would rank it. I would put it as in this order. So students should have to rank these from least to greatest. And I'm going to put greatest here on the side and then least. Okay. And so I can either do 3 options here. I can check their answers instantly. And this is an option for any type of question that I can do, or when prompted. So students can check on their own, or they could just not check it. Okay. And then finally, I can create a cool little theme. So I like basketball myself, so I'm going to click on basketball. Let's click finish. And then I want to preview it. And this is how I would see it as a student. Okay. From least to greatest. So I'm going to do, we said the least was 5/8, right? So we're going to do least. Okay, we're going to do these. Oops. Messed up there. All right. And let's check our ranking. And yeah, I got them all right. Awesome. We get to slam dunk. Okay. And so a lot of cool options here. I won't go through every single game template, but a lot of these are very similar in this sense. Okay. All right. And finally, we can do a response question, which is very similar, but maybe it's just straightforward. We don't want it to be a game activity. We just want to ask some questions. We can ask a lot of different questions here. We can do multiple choice. We can do true or false. multiple answer, poll or opinion, and short answer. Hey, I'll do a poll or opinion. How do you feel after today's lesson? Great, okay, not great, I need help. And I'll just insert that at the end, right? And I'll click finish. And then students will respond to these when prompted. Okay, and these are the ways that we can create these slides from scratch. In the next video, I'll show us how to upload and then create an actual presentation. Okay, so thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.